She slammed the glass door so hard it rattled behind her, then kept moving, heels striking the pavement like she was running from something invisible. Elena Cross didn't slow until the city noise thinned into a dull winter hush, until the air burned her lungs, and the applause still echoing in her head finally began to fade. Only then did she realize she had wandered into Ashford Green. Hey, before we continue, a quick reminder. If you love stories like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Story Vault. It helps us bring you more captivating stories every week. Her breath clouded in front of her. Her fingers ached from the cold. Her pulse was still racing, not from exertion, but from the kind of adrenaline that came after winning something no one would remember by next week. 10 minutes earlier, they had been on their feet for her, glasses raised, smiles wide. Someone had called her relentless. Someone else had laughed and said she was unstoppable at 36. Elena had smiled on cue, delivered the perfect closing line, then escaped before anyone could ask the question she always avoided. "What are you doing tonight?" Because the answer never changed. Because the penthouse waiting for her offered only silence, city lights blinking like a performance meant for someone else. She crossed the park path without intention, coat hanging open, phone buzzing unanswered in her pocket. Snow fell softly, blurring the edges of the world. That was when she saw the child. The girl sat alone on a bench, dusted white, feet swinging above the frozen ground. A stuffed rabbit was crushed against her chest, one ear permanently bent, as if it had been loved too hard. Her coat was too thin. Her gaze was fixed on the iced-over pond, unblinking. Elena slowed, told herself to keep walking. She didn't. "Hey," she said before deciding to stop. The word sounded wrong, bare, stripped of authority. The girl turned and studied her with a seriousness that didn't belong on such a small face. "You're walking too fast." Elena blinked. "I do that sometimes." The girl nodded, satisfied. "My mom did that when she was scared." The sentence hit harder than Elena expected. She glanced around the park, suddenly alert. "Is your mom nearby?" The girl shook her head and squeezed the rabbit tighter. "No." The way she said it, flat, final, told Elena not to ask why. Instead, she gestured to the bench. "Mind if I sit?" The girl shrugged. "It's a long bench." They sat side by side, snow drifting down like a held breath. Elena became acutely aware of everything that separated them, her tailored coat, her polished boots, the faint scent of perfume that suddenly felt intrusive. "What's your name?" Elena asked. "Lily." "Elena." Lily kicked her legs. "You look sad." Elena almost laughed. "That's not very polite." "I didn't mean it bad," Lily said quickly. "You just look like you're thinking too hard." Elena stared at the frozen pond. "What if I am?" "Then you should stop," Lily said. "Thinking too hard makes your chest hurt. My mom said that." Something twisted beneath Elena's ribs. "Your mom sounds smart." "She was," Lily said. "Then she got sick. Then she went away." The words were delivered without drama. That was what made them unbearable. Elena closed her eyes for half a second. When she opened them, Lily was watching her closely, as if checking whether adults always cracked the same way. "I'm sorry," Elena said. "It's okay," Lily replied, which somehow made it worse. "People say that a lot." A gust of wind cut through the park. Elena noticed Lily's bare hands and frowned. "Aren't you cold?" "My dad said he'd be back fast," Lily said. "He had to talk to his computer voice." Elena nodded, though her chest tightened. She scanned the path. Still empty. "Are you worried?" Elena asked. Lily tilted her head. "Sometimes. Mostly I just miss having someone to do mom things with." Elena hesitated. "What are mom things?" Lily's face brightened. "Hair brushing, cookies, sitting close, being picked first." The ache that followed was sharp and unfamiliar. "Those sound important." "They are," Lily said. Then she inhaled deeply, like someone gathering courage. Her next words came carefully, rehearsed. "I know this is a big ask, but since you look lonely too..." She turned fully toward Elena now. Snow settled in her hair. Her eyes were wide, hopeful, terrifyingly serious. "I don't have a mom," Lily said. "Can you spend a day with me?" The world seemed to hold still. Elena didn't answer. The question hovered between them, fragile and dangerous, like glass waiting to shatter. She searched Lily's face for playfulness, for childish impulse. There was none. This wasn't imagination. It was need. "That's a very big thing to ask," Elena said quietly. Lily nodded. "I know. You can say no." The permission hurt almost as much as the question. Elena's instincts screamed retreat. This wasn't appropriate, safe, logical, and yet something heavier pressed down on her chest. "I should talk to your dad first," she said. Lily's shoulders loosened just a little. "Okay." A man hurried down the path moments later, phone pressed to his ear, panic etched deep into his face. He ended the call abruptly when he saw Lily. "I'm so sorry," he said, dropping to her level. "I turned my back for 2 minutes." "It's okay," Lily said. "I made a friend." The man stood, eyes flicking to Elena with alarm before settling into guarded calm. "I'm Mark, her father." "Elena," she replied. "We were just talking." Lily cut in, urgent. "I asked her something important." Mark frowned. "Lily? I asked if she could spend a day with me," Lily rushed. "Because I don't have a mom." The words landed like a blow Mark had never learned to avoid. He inhaled sharply, eyes closing for a beat. Elena stepped back. "I'm sorry. I should probably go." Mark hesitated, conflict written all over him. "No," he said finally. "Thank you. For staying." Snow settled on their shoulders as silence stretched between them. Then Mark gestured toward a cafe glowing nearby. "Would you like to sit for a minute? Lily? Hot chocolate?" Lily nodded eagerly. Elena followed them inside, the warmth of the cafe hitting her like a wave. Steam curled from mugs, the rich scent of chocolate and cinnamon mingling with laughter that felt alien to her. Lily pulled a chair for Elena, as if instinctively knowing where she belonged. "She's been asking a lot of questions lately," Mark said quietly, voice low enough that only Elena could hear. "About families, about why things changed." Elena nodded. "I don't want to overstep." "I appreciate that," he said, staring at her with something raw, something careful. "What she asked you, did you say yes?" Elena hesitated. "I said I should talk to you first." Mark exhaled slowly, fingers tightening around his mug. "She hasn't had many women around since her mom passed. I'm doing my best, but—" He trailed off. "I don't want to give her false hope." "Neither do I," Elena admitted, though her own chest ached in protest. They spoke longer than either expected, mapping boundaries, testing intentions. Words carried weight here. Every phrase a small negotiation, every pause a decision. By the time they left, an agreement had formed, not spoken aloud, but understood. "One Saturday," Mark said. "We'll see how it goes." Elena nodded. One Saturday. The first Saturday arrived with the kind of nervous energy Elena hadn't felt in years. She found herself standing outside a toy store, staring at rows of dolls and building blocks, as if she were searching for the right answer between them. She entered empty-handed, deciding that her presence mattered more than any gift. Lily opened the door and froze. "You came." "I said I would," Elena said, forcing her voice to sound steady. The day unfolded like a series of small miracles. Hairbrushing turned into laughter. Burnt cookies became inside jokes. A museum trip became an adventure with Lily narrating every display in fierce, passionate detail. At one point, Lily reached for Elena's hand, and she took it without thinking. Her heart twisted in an unfamiliar combination of fear and joy. Saturdays became 2, then 3. Elena began rearranging her meetings, declining invitations, prioritizing presence over perfection. Then came the kindergarten tea party. Elena hesitated at the door, surrounded by mothers laughing and chatting, comparing their experiences effortlessly. Lily spotted her and waved so hard she almost tipped her chair. "This is Elena," Lily announced proudly. "She comes to my Saturdays." A polite smile, a raised eyebrow. Elena ignored it and sat anyway. Later, Lily leaned close, whispering, "I almost said Mom today." Elena's throat closed. "And what did you say?" "I said my heart word instead," Lily replied. "What's that?" "You." Elena felt herself tip into a fear she hadn't acknowledged, the fear of losing this fragile bond. She wanted to protect it, but the thought of failing, of stepping too far, of hurting Lily, gnawed at her like a storm behind glass. The next twist came unexpectedly. A rainy evening. Elena's phone buzzed relentlessly. A major client demanded an urgent last-minute dinner. Every influential person would be there. Every connection. Every opportunity. Elena looked at the clock, then at Lily on stage, clutching a paper crown for her small recital. Lily's tiny face scanned the audience anxiously. Her instincts screamed at her, "Go! This is important! You can't skip it!" But she heard Lily's heartbeat in that anxious glance. She dropped the phone into her purse. "I can't," she said aloud, firm and irrevocable. "I'm busy." Hanging up before doubt could creep back, she stepped into the hall, unnoticed by the adult world, but visible to the child who mattered. Relief spread across Lily's face like sunlight breaking through clouds. In that instant, Elena understood something no award, no promotion, no deal could ever teach her. Some victories are silent, and some moments are everything. Months passed. The lines between them softened, reshaped. Elena laughed more, sometimes awkwardly, sometimes freely, with Mark and Lily. Trust grew in quiet gestures, shared jokes, late-night stories, and hands held without question. But life, as it always does, tested them. One evening, Mark received a job offer that would take him to another city temporarily. The thought of disrupting the routine, of possibly losing the fragile thread they had all built, made Elena's chest ache. She wrestled with the decision, questioning whether she could truly balance work, life, and love without breaking something precious. The night before Mark's departure, Lily tugged at Elena's sleeve. "Please don't go," she whispered, eyes wide and shimmering. The vulnerability in that small voice made Elena's heart pound. She squeezed Lily's hand. "I'm not going anywhere that matters," she said softly, though even she wasn't sure if it was entirely true. One evening, as Lily slept curled between them on the couch, Mark whispered, "She hasn't had nightmares in weeks." Elena watched Lily's steady breathing and felt the weight of it all, the fear, the longing, the responsibility, the love. "Neither have I," she murmured. Years later, she would think back to that winter day in the park, to a simple, fearless question that shattered her carefully constructed life. She had once believed success was about standing alone at the top, but now she knew better. Somewhere between burnt cookies and missed meetings, she had discovered the truth. The most important titles aren't earned, they're given. And sometimes, the smallest voice can rewrite a life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Story Vault for more incredible stories that touch the heart. Thank you for watching.